In a bustling kitchen, the air was filled with the sharp, crisp scent of vegetables. Emily stood at the counter, a rainbow of vegetables spread before her. It was time to prepare dinner, and she had chosen to make a hearty vegetable stew. She picked up a shiny knife and selected a vibrant red bell pepper. With a practiced hand, she sliced through the pepper, revealing the seeds inside. The sound of the knife cutting through the pepper was like music to her ears, a rhythmic chop-chop that filled her with a sense of satisfaction. Next, she turned her attention to a plump, juicy tomato. She carefully removed the stem and sliced it into neat, even slices. The tomato released its sweet, tangy aroma, making her mouth water in anticipation. As she chopped carrots, celery, and onions, the colors and textures of the vegetables blended together beautifully. Each vegetable had its own unique flavor and texture, but when combined, they created a harmonious blend of taste and aroma. As Emily stirred the vegetables in the pot, the kitchen was filled with the savory scent of the stew simmering on the stove. She added a pinch of salt, a sprinkle of pepper, and a dash of herbs, tasting as she went along to adjust the seasoning. Finally, she ladled the steaming stew into bowls and garnished them with fresh parsley. The vegetables had been transformed into a delicious, nourishing meal that would warm the hearts and bellies of her family. As they sat down to eat, Emily's family marveled at the flavors of the stew. Each bite was a celebration of the humble vegetable, a reminder of the beauty and bounty of nature's harvest. In that moment, Emily realized that cutting vegetables wasn't just a chore. It was a form of art. It was a way of connecting with nature, of honoring the earth's gifts, and of nourishing the body and soul. And so, as she savored her meal, Emily felt grateful for the simple joy of chopping vegetables, for in that act, she had discovered the true essence of life itself. Let's explain some useful words and expressions. Sharp, crisp scent. Meaning, a clear and fresh smell. Example: the sharp, crisp scent of pine trees filled the air during our hike. Aroma. Meaning, a pleasant smell. Example: the aroma of freshly baked bread filled the bakery. Harmonious. Meaning, forming a pleasing or consistent whole. Example: the choir's harmonious singing created a beautiful sound. Simmering. Meaning, cooking something gently just below boiling point. Example: the soup was simmering on the stove, releasing a delicious smell. Garnished. Meaning, decorated food with small additions like herbs. Example: the chef garnished the dessert with fresh mint leaves. Vibrant. Meaning, bright and full of energy. Example: the vibrant colors of the painting made it stand out in the gallery. Savory. Meaning, having a pleasant, slightly salty or spicy taste. Example: the savory aroma of the roasted chicken made everyone hungry. Pinch of salt. Meaning, a small amount of salt. Example: she added a pinch of salt to the cake batter. Essence. Meaning, the most important quality or element of something. Example: understanding the essence of the novel helped him appreciate its themes. That's it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until then, keep shining bright with Storylight. A day at the zoo. On a bright and sunny Saturday morning, Lucy and her little brother Max were bubbling with excitement. Their parents, Sarah and James, had promised them a trip to the city zoo, a place they'd been longing to visit for weeks. Lucy, being the older sister at 9, felt a sense of responsibility to make sure 4-year-old Max had a fantastic time. They packed a picnic basket with sandwiches, fruits, and juice boxes, and set off early to beat the weekend crowd. As they approached the zoo, the air buzzed with the sounds of chattering families, the occasional squawk of birds, and the distant roar of a lion. "Hey, look, Mommy! Look, Daddy! We're here!" Max squealed as they passed through the gates. The first exhibit they visited was the African savanna. Lucy's eyes widened with wonder as she spotted the tall giraffes nibbling leaves from the treetops. Their graceful necks stretched high, and their patterned coats stood out against the clear blue sky. Max giggled as a curious giraffe bent down to inspect them, its long purple tongue flicking out to taste the leaves in his hand. Can we see the lions next?" Lucy asked, bouncing on her toes. James nodded, leading the way to the lion's den. They arrived just in time to see the majestic lions basking in the morning sun. A powerful roar echoed through the area, sending shivers down their spines. Nearby, a sleek leopard lounged lazily on a high rock, its spotted coat blending perfectly with the shadows. Did you know that a lion's roar can be heard up to 5 miles away?" James asked, his voice filled with the excitement of sharing fun facts with his children. Next, they ventured into the reptile house. The dark, cool environment contrasted sharply with the sunny outdoors. Lucy shivered with a mix of fear and fascination as she observed the slithering snakes behind the glass enclosures. She was particularly intrigued by the giant python coiled tightly around a tree branch, its scales glistening under the artificial lights. Max was captivated by the colorful chameleons that changed their hues in the blink of an eye, trying to spot each one as it blended into its surroundings. After their thrilling encounter with the reptiles, they headed to the bird aviary. Inside, vibrant parrots squawked and flitted from branch to branch, while peacocks strutted proudly with their magnificent tails fanned out. Lucy and Max stood still as a zookeeper offered them small cups of nectar, and soon tiny hummingbirds hovered near, sipping the sweet liquid with their delicate beaks. Feeling a bit tired from all the excitement, the family decided to take a break at the zoo cafe. They enjoyed ice creams while sitting in the shade of a large tree, relishing the cool treat as they watched the flamingos wading gracefully in a nearby pond. The pink feathers of the flamingos shimmered in the sunlight, creating a picturesque scene. Refreshed, they made their way to the primate house. Lucy and Max were delighted by the antics of the playful monkeys and apes. They watched in amazement as a family of chimpanzees swung from branch to branch, chattering animatedly. A particularly cheeky monkey spotted Max's bright red cap and reached out through the bars, trying to grab it, causing Max to burst into giggles. Monkeys are so funny," Max exclaimed, clutching his cap tightly. The highlight of their visit was the elephant show. The enormous creatures performed tricks, lifting their trunks in a salute and balancing on their hind legs, much to the delight of the audience. Lucy and Max laughed and clapped, their faces glowing with happiness. One of the elephants even sprayed water on the crowd, eliciting squeals of surprise and laughter. After the show, they strolled through the Asian forest exhibit, marveling at the red pandas climbing nimbly among the branches and the graceful tigers prowling their enclosures. They also visited the nocturnal house, where they saw bats hanging upside down and owls staring at them with large, unblinking eyes. As the day drew to a close, they made their way to the petting zoo. Lucy gently petted a fluffy rabbit, while Max fed a friendly goat. Their parents took numerous photos, capturing the joy and excitement of the day. The children laughed as they tried to keep up with a group of mischievous ducklings waddling around their feet. On their way out, they stopped by the gift shop. Lucy chose a stuffed giraffe to remember the day, while Max picked a toy lion. Sarah and James also bought a zoo guidebook, hoping to read more about the animals they had seen. Driving home, Lucy and Max chattered non-stop about their favorite animals and the fun they had. I loved the giraffes the most," Lucy declared, hugging her new stuffed toy. And the lions were so cool," Max added, roaring like a lion cub. Sarah and James smiled at each other, pleased with how the day had turned out. They knew they had created lasting memories for their children. That night, as Lucy drifted off to sleep, she dreamt of wild adventures in the animal kingdom, eager for their next visit to the magical world of the zoo. Max, clutching his toy lion, slept soundly, dreaming of roaring like the mighty king of the jungle. Let's learn some words from the story. Majestic, meaning having or showing impressive beauty or dignity. Example: the majestic mountains stood tall against the skyline. Antics, meaning playful or amusing behavior. Example: the puppy's antics kept the whole family entertained. Bask, meaning to lie or relax in a pleasant warmth or atmosphere. Example: the cat basked in the sunlight streaming through the window. Nocturnal, meaning active during the night. Example: owls are nocturnal birds that hunt for food after dark. Flitted, meaning move swiftly and lightly. Example: the butterflies flitted from flower to flower in the garden. Whimsical, meaning playfully quaint or fanciful, especially in an appealing and amusing way. Example: the artist's studio was filled with whimsical sculptures and paintings. Prowling, meaning moving around stealthily in search of prey or something to steal. Example: the cat was prowling in the garden, looking for mice. Bubbling with excitement, meaning extremely excited. Example: the children were bubbling with excitement at the prospect of a beach day. Burst into giggles, meaning suddenly start laughing in a silly or uncontrolled way. Example: the toddler burst into giggles when his father made funny faces. Chattering animatedly, meaning talking quickly and excitedly, often with a lot of gestures and expressions. Example: the children were chattering animatedly about their favorite animals as they walked through the zoo. Climbing nimbly, meaning climbing with ease, agility, and quickness. Example: the red pandas were climbing nimbly among the branches, moving with effortless grace. That's it. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Until then, keep shining bright with Storylight. A lovely couple, Jack and Emma, had a child named Alex after many years. Alex was the apple of their eye, and they gave him everything he ever wanted without question. As a result, he spent his days watching TV and playing video games, rarely venturing outside or helping around the house. His parents, though concerned, never said anything because they wanted to shower him with love and comfort. Up in the clouds, a meeting was held among the forces that influence human behavior, habits. In attendance were inertia, dishonesty, tardiness, arrogance, and others. They discussed Alex, noting his increasingly negative behavior, and decided that inertia, dishonesty, and arrogance would take charge of him. Alex became increasingly lazy, dishonest, and arrogant. He lied about his actions and neglected his responsibilities, blaming his parents for spoiling him. His parents, worried about his attitude, tried to talk sense into him, but Alex refused to listen, believing he could change whenever he wanted. One morning, Alex woke up unusually early and decided to visit the garden. There, he met Sam, a gardener, who explained that certain poisonous weeds threatened the health of the park's strongest tree. Sam needed help to remove the weeds, and Alex, motivated for the first time in a long while, volunteered to assist. As they worked, Alex realized that some weeds required more effort and patience to remove. Despite the challenge, Alex persisted and successfully uprooted the weeds. Impressed, Sam revealed himself to be the Dragon of Boons. He explained that Alex's harmful habits had grown powerful over him and offered 3 magical rings to help: the Ring of Honesty, the Ring of Discipline, and the Ring of Love. Sam warned that patience and empathy would be necessary tools to fully uproot these habits. Alex felt an immediate change. The Dragon of Boons had temporarily subdued his negative habits, allowing him to act without their influence. With renewed determination, Alex began to wake up early, exercise, and be honest. He actively fought against inertia, dishonesty, and arrogance, remembering Sam's advice whenever he struggled. Gradually, Alex no longer needed the rings. He became honest, disciplined, and humble, finding a job and gaining the respect of his friends. Successful and happy, Alex never forgot Sam and the lesson of the garden, embodying persistence, empathy, and love in his life. Let's learn some useful words and expressions. Apple of their eye. This means someone is very precious and loved. Example: Alex was the apple of his parents' eye. Venture. To go somewhere new or do something new and risky. Example: she decided to venture into the forest to explore. Personified. When something non-human is given human qualities. Example: the wind was personified as a mischievous spirit. Uproot. To pull something out of the ground completely. Example: the gardener had to uproot the weeds to protect the flowers. Embodied. Represented or expressed something in a visible or tangible way. Embodied. The hero embodied courage and strength in every battle. Pull out the weeds. To remove problems or bad habits. Example: Alex needed to pull out the weeds of laziness and dishonesty from his life. Neglect. To fail to take care of something or someone. Example: she neglected her garden, and the plants began to die. Subdue. To overpower or bring under control. Subdue. The firefighter subdued the flames quickly. Deeply rooted. Something that is firmly established and difficult to change. Example: Alex's bad habits were deeply rooted, making them hard to overcome. That's it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until then, keep shining bright with Storylight.